In our final half hour, a state of emergency happening now. Marquette County declares a state of emergency after flooding damage due to the spring runoff. What that means in the areas impacted.
I'm Tia Trudgeon. I'm live in South Republic to show you the damage in residential yards that the Michigamme River flooding has caused.
Plus, the investigation into illnesses at the Billerud paper mill in Escanaba continues, and a national team of health experts is now set to arrive again tomorrow. The latest on this ongoing situation as your TV6 Morning News continues.
From Upper Michigan Source, this is your TV6 Morning News.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday. Jennifer, we've had a wild start to this week, and here we are, the middle of the week. Feels like a nice, calm break from all of that precipitation. I know a lot of people are still struggling with that flooding. We're going to be showing you some of that in just a few minutes. But as far as this morning goes, nothing major to report.
It's quiet outside, and that's really nice. You get going, things are looking good out there. It's dry, not much of a wind, and so it's looking good for the first half of the morning. Then it's going to be a cloudy day. We're looking at a rain and snow mixture to move in briefly this afternoon. Temperatures will still be below normal. Many areas in the mid to upper 30s, some spots in the lower 40s. But here's that hour by hour. Some of that rain and snow mixture moving in across the south later on this afternoon and along the Wisconsin state line. Then that moves out. We're looking at some spotty rain showers overnight. That could include a little freezing drizzle in some of the higher elevations during the overnight hours. So tomorrow morning, be on the lookout for some slick and maybe a little icy spots. The big rain starts to roll in though tomorrow during the daytime hours. Several rounds of rain expected to add on to the high water levels that we're experiencing at local streams and rivers. So all of the dots that are in the orange, that's at a minor flood stage. The red dots, those are at a moderate flood stage. What I've looked at is a lot of the Menominee River through and along the Wisconsin state line. The water levels there are starting to recede and fall, but some rivers are starting to still increase and rise. So some of the more prominent rivers, the Michigamme River near Witch Lake is at 11.9. It's still rising, expected to crest at 12 feet. Menominee River at Florence is falling. It crested at 11.2, currently at 9.2. Menominee River at Niagara, it's at 13.7. It's falling. But the Menominee River in Menominee County at McAllister is still at a moderate stage. That's still at an 18.2 foot level right now. We're expecting a lot of those water levels to continue to increase, even though they're receding a little bit. We have more rain headed your way, so we're going to talk a little bit more about what we're expecting for rainfall amounts tomorrow in 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. And happening now, Marquette County has declared a local state of emergency. The county says it received widespread damage caused by the runoff of rapidly melting snow and additional rainfall. There is severe damage on the west end of the county near the Michigamme and Escanaba rivers. Up to 100 homes are affected, some of which are inaccessible because of the flooding. Due to the damage, the Marquette County Board of Commissioners declared a local state of emergency. This will allow the county to receive additional assistance and funding to help people impacted by the flooding. The Michigan State Police are warning that if you're in an affected area, do not go into the water.
Don't approach the standing water. Don't try to drive through it. Don't try to swim through it. Don't try to walk through it. Those currents underneath there can be very dangerous.
Marquette County has sent a request to Governor Whitmer's office to declare a state of emergency at the state level. Marquette County has declared a local state of emergency. There is severe damage on the west end of the county near the Michigamme and Escanaba rivers. Up to 100 homes are affected, some of which are inaccessible because of the flooding. Tia Trudgeon joins us live from Republic for a closer look at the damage near the Michigamme River. Tia, what are you seeing there this morning?
Elizabeth, I'm seeing yards that are completely washed out, like this one that I'm standing in front of here on Bankston Road in South Republic. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that deck behind me, but there's water going up to, I think that might be the second step. So this whole front yard is covered in water. Going to walk along Look at this. There's chickens in the front yard. That used to be, well, that still is a chicken coop, but obviously it's been washed out. It's underwater. I can't exactly tell how many feet of water this is, but it looks like at least a full foot of water, maybe 2. So as you can see in this yard, it's just a steady pond of water. The Michigamme River is just back there. So keep looking at all of this damage. This is what these homes in this area are experiencing. And I spoke to Daniel Jablonski. He's a forecaster of the National Weather Service. He gave me a timeline on when he expects this to go down. So he says the Michigamme River will gradually make its way down through flood stages back to moderate and low around April 25th and April 26th. And so right now this is way over moderate. So the Michigamme River, we showed you at the Bengston Bridge just about 40 minutes ago. That river is sitting at just above 11 feet. Typical for this time is around 7 to 8 feet. That's what Daniel told me. So about 4 feet higher than normal. So yeah, just once again, yards being washed out. This road is still passable, but if you take a look on the other side, you can see that the water has started to come up onto the road and start to fill in those cracks and in those potholes. So check back in with me in another 30 minutes, Elizabeth. I will show you more of what the people here in Republic are experiencing.
All right, Tia, and looking there behind you, can you tell, are people being displaced by that flooding there? It looks like that water is up so high on the home. Have you seen anybody moving around yet this morning?
I've seen nobody, Elizabeth. I also haven't seen any cars pass through. However, I did see a light turn on in this house. So my guess is that somebody is inside. I'm not entirely sure how they're getting to and from the street though. My guess is maybe using waders and just walking through all of that flooded water in the yard.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you so much, Tia. Now to a construction alert. The Michigan Department of Transportation and Forsyth Township are gearing up for a major rebuild of M35. MDOT's construction engineer said this $4.4 million project will take place from east of Smith Street to the east branch of the Escanaba River in Gwinn. You can expect detours and one-lane traffic. The engineer says the road needs repairs, so the township is taking advantage.
The township needed to and wanted to improve water and sewer facilities, which is a great time, of course, to make sure it happens while we're rebuilding the road so they don't have to come back in and cut in the pavement later.
Crews are scheduled to be finished by late October. Anderson urges patience on the road during the project. Continuing coverage, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health is visiting the Escanaba Billerud Mill again this week. The visit is set to start tomorrow and run through the 29th. The agency says it will offer employees a blastomyces urine and antigen test and a voluntary work and health questionnaire. Those with a positive antigen test will be directed to meet with their primary care physician. The questionnaire is expected to help investigators understand what factors increase workers' risk for infection. The agency says it has provided recommendations for Billerud to follow based on its previous visit to the site March 27th and 28th. Now, among those recommendations, the agency advised Billerud to continue making approved N95 masks available to all employees, inspect heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and follow recommended maintenance schedules. Contract with a licensed ventilation engineer to inspect ductwork and limit activities that disrupt the soil. To date, there have been 21 confirmed cases, 1 death, and 76 probable cases of blastomycosis identified. The deadline is this week for Iron Mountain to respond to a lawsuit filed against the city in February. Former IMPD officer Teresa Williams is the plaintiff in the lawsuit. We first told you about her allegations 2 months ago. She says she was the victim of sexual harassment and assault at the hands of her partner, Garth Budek and Joseph Dumais. We requested documents from the IMPD through the Freedom of Information Act. Those documents reveal Budek came forward to superiors in March of 2022, saying he had a consensual affair with Williams in 2018. Williams says that depiction is skewed, and she has been reporting harassment by Budek for years, which was ignored. She also says she was disciplined unfairly and held to a different standard than her male counterparts. Police records show 8 different violations of department policy and procedure and cite body cam footage and citizen reports as its reason. City Manager Jordan Stakina provided a statement to TV6, which says, in part, the city of Iron Mountain understands the seriousness of the allegations made in the lawsuit. However, it is important to note that these allegations are just that, allegations. The city is confident that the evidence presented in court will show that the claims made by Ms. Williams are without merit. Now, you can read the entire statement on UpperMichiganSource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. The U.S. District Attorney for Western Michigan is hoping information from a recent drug bust will help keep drugs off UP streets. 10 people faced charges in February of last year for their involvement in a 2021 meth, heroin, and fentanyl operation. The U.S. District Attorney says the defendants based their drug operation in the Hannahville and Keweenaw Bay Indian communities. The final defendant, Elizabeth Jean Dakota, was sentenced to 51 months last Tuesday after pleading guilty.
This case really represents a pretty significant blow to a major pipeline of supplying narcotics into the Upper Peninsula, methamphetamine especially, but heroin and fentanyl as well were part of this scheme.
Toten says if you notice any suspicious activity in your community, you can provide an anonymous tip to the Upper Peninsula Substance Enforcement Team. Well, Jennifer is tracking the next round of precipitation headed towards the Upper Peninsula. Find out how much and when it's coming after the break. We're back in the Weather Center with Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Perez. Jennifer, we're kind of in that quiet moment before the next one that you are tracking comes our way.
Yeah, that next system is still west of us, bringing in rain for southern Minnesota and into Iowa. Now starting to see a little bit of that light rain in western Wisconsin. That warm front will track north, so we're going to see a small round of rain and snow mixture initially this afternoon, but the big risk comes tomorrow. And the Weather Prediction Center has the UP, Wisconsin, and the west end of the Lower Peninsula for Thursday under a marginal risk for excessive rainfall. We're expecting easily about ½ of an inch of rain to about 0.8 of an inch of rain, but some isolated and localized areas could range around an inch or a little bit more of rain for Thursday, extending into Friday. Here's the hour by hour, a little bit of that mixture rolling through this afternoon. Some spotty rain showers overnight that could have a little freezing drizzle, making for some slick spots for tomorrow morning, and then rounds of showers and thunder showers throughout the course of the day, extending into the evening hours tomorrow and then clearing out by Friday morning. The bulk of Friday will remain dry, and then behind this system we have some spotty rain showers that develop for Friday evening. Following that, it's very light rain and snow mixture for Saturday, and then cooler conditions on Sunday with a little bit more light snow. The biggest hazard is going to be the heavy rain potential with this, so not a big issue for those strong winds, hail, or tornadic threat with any of those thunder showers that develop. It's your generic thunderstorms that could be possible for Thursday, but that heavy rain potential will continue to cause some flooding along streams and rivers, especially in the areas that are already dealing with it right now. Today we're expecting temperatures in the mid to upper 30s with a few low 40s in the interior eastern sections of the UP, and as we head towards tomorrow, most areas will be into the 40s. That puts us more into a seasonal range. Friday will be a little bit milder. We're expecting around 50 and into the 50s towards the east end with 40s across the west. There's going to be a west and an east split on Friday for temperatures. Saturday will be a little wet with that rain and snow that'll be out there. Some light snow will still be around Sunday morning. But everybody wants to know now at this point in the stage of, especially with this flooding threat and issue that we've been dealing with, is when we're going to have a dry stretch. And that's coming Monday through this upcoming Thursday.
All right. Can't come soon enough.
Yeah. So next Monday into next Thursday.
All right. Keeping our eye on that. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Well, Marquette County has declared a local state of emergency. After the break, Tia Trudgeon joins us live from Republic, showing us damage caused by the Michigamme River. This morning, we are taking a look at the impacts of flooding to the Michigamme River in Republic. That's where TV6's Tia Trudgeon is this morning. She's been taking a look at the levels and also some of the damage to properties and areas. Tia, where are you now and what are you seeing?
Elizabeth, I'm here on Bankston Road in South Republic. I'm standing right on the edge of the road. This is the river behind me. You can see there's standing water just a couple of feet from the road. It is pretty still right now this morning. Now, I spoke to someone from the National Weather Service. They told me, for example, Michigamme River at Witch Lake at this time of year, typical is 7 to 8 feet. Yesterday, he marked it at just above 12 feet. Now, take a look at this video sent to us by Danielle Putnam. She lives over here in South Republic. She has been monitoring the levels by the Bankston Bridge. The first picture you're taking a look at is from last Thursday. And as you can see, as the images go on, the water levels keep rising. And then again, speaking with that forecaster, Daniel Jablonski, he determined that the water levels of the Michigamme River should be back down to normal to moderate levels for this time of year by April 25th and April 26th. And that is all because of a light round of precipitation that is still going to be moving in, so that could cause the water not to settle quite yet. Now, I'm standing here at a home, obviously on Bankston Road. As you can see, there are 2 chicken coops, or maybe one of them is just a shed. I'm not entirely positive, but they're underwater. Taking a look at this, it looks like a pond in the front yard. It's completely washed out besides a hill over there. Robert, if you come in a little bit closer, you can see a hill. So it doesn't look like the house is totally inaccessible, but there is water going all the way up to the front steps of this deck. Now, I do have a rock in my pocket. I just kind of want to see if I can tell how far it will go down. Okay, it sunk a little bit. My estimation for that water level in this yard is about 2 feet. I can still see the ground underneath it a little bit, but obviously this is way above normal. This yard should not be covered in water, and about 100 homes in this area are experiencing these sorts of conditions. So we will, of course, continue to keep an eye on the levels, watch out for the forecast, and be very careful when you're driving on the roads, because I know that River Road off of M95 is cut off towards the west. There's some more major flooding damage toward that way. But that's all I have here in Republic. It's back to you now.
All right, we cannot wait for that dry stretch next week that Jennifer is talking about. Thank you so much, Tia. Your top stories are on the way. We'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back. So this picture comes to us. It's literally of about 10 minutes ago of the pre-sunrise over at McCarty's Cove. Thanks to Andrew for sharing that awesome image for us. Feel free to share your images with us as well on our website.
In our top stories, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says he has enough support to get the GOP's debt limit bill passed along party lines. The proposal, which hasn't been released or finalized, includes getting back unspent COVID-19 funds, 10-year caps on spending, prohibiting President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness, and enacting a GOP energy bill. McCarthy's bill can only lose 4 Republican votes in the House, and it is not expected to get through the Democratic-led Senate. The Escanaba Downtown Development Authority is considering possible renovations to Ludington Street. The Escanaba DDA and the City of Escanaba met to discuss the renovations during a special meeting. The DDA says the main idea is to turn the intersection of 11th Street and Ludington Street into a town square, as well as make improvements to Ludington Street itself. They say they want to make downtown Escanaba a place people want to visit. Students in the Ontonagon Area School District banded together last night in opposition of the school board's resignation agreement with former athletic director Tim Rutho. The agreement was finalized during a special board meeting on March 27th. The circumstances leading to the resignation are still unknown. Rutho has been suspended 3 times this school year, which prompted 52 students to stage a sit-in in February to protest. Some students say they're frustrated. Their voices aren't being heard by the board. A new campground could be coming to Marquette County. The Preserve LLC is seeking to build a 50-site campground on 80 acres of land they own across Marquette, Chocolate, and Sands Townships. The site, called Kona Hills Campground, would be located behind the rock cut in Chocolate Township. The Sands Township Planning Commission considered a conditional use permit for the site at a meeting last night. The board tabled the discussion and will respond within 30 days. In sports, Escanaba Junior and Senior High Schools are trying to get kids active while teaching them a new sport. Joe Williams visited the school yesterday. He's the president of the Detroit Handball Club and has played for the United States national team. While at the school, he taught students how to play the game. Williams says that handball is a sport that everyone can get involved in. I've never played handball.
I haven't either.
I need to give it a try.
It sounds like a UMT segment.
Sounds like Jennifer and I are hitting the road. All right. But good morning, though, on the roads.
Yeah, it is. It's great. It's dry. But your 7 days coming up with a look at the rain for the end of the week. All right, welcome back. So still going to be an active pattern really for Thursday all the way through this upcoming weekend. The precipitation this upcoming weekend will be very light. The big concern will be tomorrow's rain and thunder showers that roll in with some heavy rain as well. And it looks to be dry next Monday through next Thursday. So we have several days to kind of get through messy situations before we enter that dry stretch. We do have some rain and snow this afternoon that grazes across the southern areas of the UP. It's going to be light, but tomorrow rounds of these showers and thunder showers will be rolling on through, so be prepared for that.
Yeah, and have your rain boots and your umbrella, but also pay attention to water over the road and things like that, because it's bound to happen with all that rain coming.
Exactly.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Be careful out there. We'll see you back here tomorrow.